Good morning and happy Monday, second graders. It's Miss Oliver here, and I'm going to be doing your instructional read aloud today. I got my Pocahontas shirt on, and I have the alien from Toy Story who's gonna watch me read today. Got all my stuff set up, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for our read aloud today, I have my learning target and success criteria listed out here for us. And our learning target is still the same as last week. It's still I can grow knowledge as a nonfiction reader. So we are still working with nonfiction texts. Remember that nonfiction means not fake, which means the stories are real. And our success criteria for today is I am successful when I can add up facts to determine the main idea and determine importance to summarize. So the big things that we're looking out for today are we're looking for the facts, we're looking for the main idea, everything that's important, and we're trying to summarize what the story is about. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today's story. All right, so here is our book for today. All right, so here is our book for today. These 2 pages equals 1 chapter in this book, and I have the heading covered up on this side so it doesn't give it away for us. So I'm going to read these 2 pages, and then once I'm done, we will go over the main ideas and supporting details, and I'll show you a strategy on how to find those things. All right, so as I'm reading, I want you to try to think about the main idea of both of these pages. And what do you think both of these pages are going to be about? Sperm whales eat a lot, about 1 ton of food every day. That's 2,000 pounds. Their favorite food is large squid, found in deep waters. They can eat 700 squid in 1 day. Sperm whales also eat octopus, fish, shark, and skate. And they have a picture of the squid on this side. Sometimes there is not enough food in one part of the ocean. While they search for food, whales survive on fat called blubber that's stored in their bodies. And then on this side, we have a picture of an octopus, picture of fish, picture of skate. It kind of looks like a stingray. And then we also have a key word here, or a whale of a word, and it says blubber. And it gives us the definition for that word, which is a layer of fat that turns into energy to heat up the whale's body. All right, so after reading these 2 pages, we have to start brainstorming and thinking about what do we think the main idea is about. I'm going to go ahead and pull my notes out. All right, so we are focusing on finding the main idea and the supporting details in our story that we just read, the chapter that we just finished. So to do that, we have to ask ourselves and do this very first step here. So after each section, think and ask yourself, what is the big thing this section teaches? All right, and keep in mind that a section can be a paragraph of a story, it could be a chapter of a story, or you can even be just summarizing each page, so doing 1 page at a time. And as you're doing that, by reading the paragraph, the chapter, or the page, you have to figure out and ask yourself, what is the big thing that this section is teaching me? And I know this is something that we have definitely worked on prior to the school closing, and that is using our hands. Remember that we can use our palm of our hand as our main idea, and we can use our fingers as the details, the supporting details that tie into the main idea. So remember that your details have to go along with the main idea. And it is okay if you don't use all 5 fingers for 5 details, because some stories might only have maybe 2 details that are important and supporting. Some might have 3, some may have 4, and some of them might have all 5 fingers. It is okay if you don't use all 5 fingers for your details. But let's go ahead and summarize our chapter for today. So I'm going to quickly go over what I think is important in both of these pages, and then when we're done, we will go ahead and put it into our hand strategy, and I'll show you how to do it with your fingers. All right, so sperm whales eat a lot, about 1 ton of food every day. That's 2,000 pounds. Well, right off the bat, I think that sperm whales is going to be important because it's my first thing that's mentioned. It is kind of the topic sentence for this entire chapter. So let's keep sperm whales in mind. It also talks about how they eat a lot of food, how they eat a ton every single day. And I think that's going to be important as well. The next sentence says that their favorite food is large squid found in deep waters. Well, since it's talking about that whales eat a lot every single day, it's kind of important to know what their favorite food might be, which in this case is squid. Now, I do not think it is important to know where the squid comes from. So, squid found in deep waters, I don't think it's important to know found in deep waters. I think it's important to know what the food is, which is squid. They can eat 700 squid in one day, which goes right back to the previous fact, so they kind of go together. And then the last sentence on this page says, sperm whales also eat octopus, fish, shark, and skate. So again, it's talking about sperm whales, so I definitely think that this chapter is talking mainly about sperm whales, and it also lists a couple other things that they like to eat other than squid. All right, and then on this page over here, it says, sometimes there is not enough food in one part of the ocean. Well, I think that's an interesting fact, but I do not think it kind of goes back to this page at all, because this page over here is talking about different kinds of food that they eat, like squid and fish and sharks. And this sentence doesn't mention anything like that. It's talking about how there's not enough food in the ocean in some parts. Let's read this last sentence here. While they search for food, whales survive on fat called blubber that's stored in their bodies. Now, I do think that this part right here in this sentence is important. I think it's important to know that whales can survive on fat or their blubber. So essentially what that just means is if they can't find food, their body will eat the fat. So they're eating the fat off their own body. I think that's pretty interesting, and I think that's talking about things that they eat as well. So let's go back to our hands. I think the main idea of our story, so the palm of your hand, I think the main idea is talking about sperm whales and what they eat. And I think that this, sperm whales and what they eat is the main idea because, again, on this page, it mentions sperm whales twice, and it also lists out several things that they eat. So I think that is our main idea. Now we're going to work on our fingers for the details. We've already kind of went through what we thought was important and what was not important, so this part should be a little bit easier. So let's start off with our finger here. So sperm whales and what they eat is the main idea, and they eat 1 ton of food every day. So that is a detail. So sperm whales eat what they eat. They eat 1 ton a day. That goes along with what they're eating. Their favorite food is squid. This is my second detail, because it goes along with sperm whales and what they eat. My third finger is going to be that they can eat 700 squid in one day, because that's talking about what sperm whales eat still. They also eat other animals such as octopus, fish, shark, and skate. So they eat other things besides squid. So that's my fourth detail. And then my last detail is that whales can eat blubber. They can live off their own blubber. Now, all 5 of my facts or my supporting details relate and go back to my main idea here. So all 5 of my facts go back to my main idea. Every single thing, all of my fingers are talking about whales, the sperm whale, and what they eat, right? I'm always talking about the food. I'm not talking about what they look like. I'm not talking about where they live. I'm not talking about their whale babies. I'm talking about only what the main idea is for this chapter, which is sperm whales and their food, right? So let's do one more quick overview. My main idea of this chapter was sperm whales and what they eat. My details for my chapter, my supporting details that tie back into this chapter is they eat a ton of food every day, which is 2,000 pounds. Their favorite food is squid. They eat 700 squid in one day. They also like to eat octopus, fish, and skate. And they can also eat their own blubber that produces in their body to survive. So all 5 of my details went back to my main idea of what sperm whales eat. All right, boys and girls, that was just a quick recap on how to find the main idea and supporting details using our hand strategy. So today for your activity, I want you to either read a personal nonfiction book, read a nonfiction book on Epic, or you can read the passage in your packet if you have that, which is called Breakfast Time. And I want you to use this hand strategy to find the main idea and the supporting details. Remember that these details, you have to ask yourself, how do these all tie in together with the main idea? And the main idea is the big thing in the story. What are you learning mostly in that story? All right. So if y'all have any questions, y'all can feel free to email me or send me a remind message or call me. And I know whenever you are completed, Mr. Fox wants you to send a picture of your work. So maybe y'all could draw or trace over your hand like I did. And then you could put your main idea in the middle here and then put your details in each finger. And remember, it is okay if you don't have all 5 fingers. Some of you might only have maybe 2 or 3 fingers. All right? Send Mr. Fox an email with your main idea and details whenever y'all finish your reading activity today. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.